Hello and welcome back to the Reentry Room podcast. I'm your host, Alexa Starks. This is all about the show of working motherhood and the ups, the downs, the hard truths, and everything in between. And today I have someone very special with me. Her name is Carla Greenan. Carla, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here and be with you today, Alexa.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Now, Carla, you are an executive coach for working parents, which is literally right up the alley of this show. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do and who you are
Yeah,
and where you are in your motherhood journey?
yes, of course. So I am a mom of three with two dogs, and a husband who has a very demanding job. And
Mm,
so I, about 9 years ago, decided to leave my job and start my own business. And up until that time, I'm actually an ex-CPA. I
mm,
did accounting for a while and then eventually found my way to coaching, where I had the opportunity in um, a large professional services environment to be on a coaching team, but I also understood what it was like to the demands and the pressures of being a
mm,
working parent. Because when I was there, I had three kids, and I realized like it is a really big transition to being a working parent. A lot people just don't understand kind of that
mm.
shift back. So I decided that's what I want to do. I want to coach working
Oh,
parents. I want to help them make their return to work smoother. It's always going to be a little bit bumpy, but if
mhm.
we could help them with figuring out their new normal more quickly,
Yeah.
so they felt like they were thriving, less surviving, more thriving, is really the goal of the work that I do. And so I do one-on-one coaching, group coaching. I have products and workbooks and a lot of other things I've done along the way.
I love that. We do something so similar.
Yes.
I think I help maybe more in the early maternity leave point, but do you help moms like where in the parenting journey? Is it early on? Is it navigating teenage crisis life? Like where do your
Yeah.
clients find you in their journey?
Yeah, that's such a great question. And I love that we're having this conversation because we're both passionate about this topic, right?
Yes.
And there is such a need for people like you and I to support working parents.
Mm-hmm.
So I I originally started out with just focusing on new and expecting parents, so helping them get ready to go out on leave. What does
Mm-hmm.
that mean? Setting up, a leave plan, um,
Yes.
the emotional side of things and getting ready to do that. How are they going to be connected while they're out? Do they not want to be connected while they're out? So really
Mm, yep.
helping them get clearer on what they want. And then helping them with as they're getting ready to return, because always a really big shift and transition that
Yes.
most people aren't ready for because they've never, if it's
No
their
one talks about
first,
it.
no, and they don't talk about it. And if it's their first, they're like, I thought I had everything planned, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't,
Yeah.
because holding this baby changed everything.
Yeah.
And then I talk with them when they return, usually in that first year. So that was originally how I started. Now I do more webinars just regardless of age of child,
Nice.
because partly because my kids are 21, 20, and 17. And so now
Oh,
I get it all from
yeah.
baby all the way to what it's like to be have teenagers in the house.
Ugh. That's a close age split between the three of them.
Yes, it was really interesting. I had three kids in 4 years, and so it added to the pressure at work, right? And I really
Mm-hmm.
had to learn how do I let go of some of what I felt like I had to do and accomplish at work?
Yeah.
Um, because I couldn't be the mom I wanted to be if I was feeling like I always had to be focused on what needed to get done at work, what needed to get
Yeah.
done at work. I wasn't able to be present, so
Mm-hmm.
I knew it needed
Yeah.
to shift.
I love that. I want
Yeah.
to take a quick detour real quick because
Mm.
my kids are almost three and a little bit more than one and a half. So we also have like the very close age split, but I've got the third baby itch real bad. And so I need to know how was the
Yes.
transition from two to three?
Um, I loved it, but it was hard. But I can look back on it now because I have three in 4 years and they are so close. They
Hmm.
are, um, so they're supportive of each other. But yeah, it was tricky. It was tough.
Which
We needed support.
which was harder, the 1 to 2 or the 2 to 3?
2 to 3,
Oh,
probably.
really?
Because then you can't divide and conquer anymore.
Okay, yeah, that is our biggest con, like our reason of like, well, if one kid needs something, the other parent can handle the other kid right now. But if you have a third, someone always gets that short stick, right?
Yeah, but you know what? Um, they figure it out, and I actually feel like it gives them so many things, right? They learn to be resilient, they learn to play on their own, they learn to be supportive, and and do some things they maybe wouldn't have had to do without, that third one. So,
Yeah.
um,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. I mean, we'll see. It takes two to tango to make a baby, so we'll
that's
see.
right. Yes, that is right. And then it's like, okay, it's like just finding the support. Like, from one to
Yeah.
two, you're figuring out how to be a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when you have the third, you already know that. So it's how do we support each other and get the support
Mm-hmm.
we need
Yeah.
to do
Yeah,
this in the best way?
that is a very good shift. That's a good one. Okay. Thank you.
Of course, of course.
Okay, now I want to get into the meat of our episode because you have a really good one. So, our podcast episodes with guests are either a confession share moment or a what you know biggest lesson. And today we're going with your biggest lesson. Is that right?
Yes, that is it.
All
Yes.
right. What do you have for us?
So my biggest lesson in looking back was that I was always focused on my to-do list, getting things done. And I realized that 99% of the list can wait 1 minute.
Hmm.
It's not, 1 minute is not going to make a difference, but 1 minute is going to make a difference to sitting down with the kids on the floor, putting a puzzle together, giving them that full attention,
Yeah.
um, tells them you're paying attention. It's not always about everything that needs to get done. And they just want that snuggle time or that time with mom and dad, especially at the end of the workday. I found that was
Hmm.
the hairiest part. What they call
Yeah,
the witching hour, because it was.
it
We'd come into
is.
the house. What are we doing for dinner? The kids are crazy excited to see us. And looking back, sitting down for 1 minute, more often, I did do it, but sitting down for 1 minute is what the kids wanted and needed.
Mm. That's
So,
that's so important. I love this.
yeah, and to be honest, like when we don't give them that, or for my kids, when I didn't give them that, they got crazier.
Yes, I've noticed that too. My son, both my kids are very snuggly, but if I don't give them the affection or snuggles that they need in the moment, my son, especially because he's almost 3, he'll start to act up a little bit and get kind of mean or aggressive or just frustrated because he doesn't have that snuggle, that love that he really needs in the moment, that engagement. And I notice it. And then as soon as I give him snuggles and tickles and some love, he's back to his happy self.
Yeah, yeah, and it can just make the difference for a whole evening,
Mm-hmm.
right? If we give them that 1 minute that they need, then it kind of slows and calms everything down. And then I also find, years and years later, because my kids are older, um, that they remember those times of safety.
Mm.
Like mom
Yeah.
was there for me. And so now they do call me or they text me or they reach out because they know I'm their safe place.
Mm.
Um, because I gave them that time. Was I
Yeah.
perfect at it? Absolutely not. Like I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. Um, but I tried my best
Yeah.
and I realized when they were struggling and they really needed that attention, um, I just needed to let go
I
and
love
let
that.
let go and sit down and everything else will get done.
Okay. This is important because I feel like, especially you and I are both business owners. So we're
Yeah.
always on, and
Mhm.
especially in the age of social media and phones. My phone's constantly blowing up, and I'll get emails and messages. And it is hard, especially as an entrepreneur, to really like turn off when it's like
Definitely.
5 o'clock till 8 o'clock or 7:30, whenever we finish bedtime stories with my kids, right? And it's
Mhm.
hard to turn off because as an entrepreneur, you're always on, essentially. Like, and
Oh,
so
absolutely.
it is hard, I've found sometimes, to really turn off, at least if I have my phone. If I can put it away, I've noticed that's easier to be more
Mhm.
present.
Yeah, and I think we're teaching our kids too when we do that, that being together face to face, that's important. And we're putting the electronics somewhere else because um, we want to have that time together, right? And you're
Yeah.
right, though, like being a business owner, always on, there's always something that can be done.
Yep.
Um, and so figuring out how to set a boundary too is important, you know,
It is.
for our
Yeah.
kids. I remember trying to put the kids to bed and being like, oh my gosh, I've got so much to do. I've got so much to do. And just being frustrated because they wouldn't go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were the nights where I was just like, whatever, I'm just going to lay here and fall asleep with them. And wouldn't you know, they like immediately went to sleep. But
Wow, I'm jealous. That never happens here.
but if I tried to leave, there was always the battle.
Yeah.
And it took a long time. So I guess my encouragement there is they eventually figure out how to sleep.
Yeah.
Like they do. Um, so I learned how to be a little bit more flexible with sleep after my first. My first,
Yeah.
I was very structured, but
Yeah.
after that, I let go a little bit.
I love this. Okay, so this is super beneficial. And where do you think this has the biggest impact in the parenting journey? Like, do you think when they're toddlers this has the biggest impact, or when they're, I don't really know what happens before
Ah,
preteens, whatever that first
yeah,
kid age is, kids, and then preteens, teens, because you've now
good
been through the
question.
entire cycle essentially to adulthood.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, I do think it's really important to set the stage and the foundation for that early on when they're young. So they know when they're having a struggle at in third grade,
Mm-hmm.
right? That they know that mom's going to listen to me or dad's going to listen to me when I get home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to get into a pattern of just ignoring it and internalizing it. So
Mm-hmm.
when they're younger is the opportunity to let them know the safe place is there. Um,
Yeah.
so I do believe it's starting early and but not setting ourselves up to feel like it has to be perfect. It's
Mm.
not one more thing to like if I don't do it right all the time, then I failed. That's not it.
Yeah.
It's you do the best that you can, and we teach our kids like if I wasn't able to be in a moment with them and they were having a hard moment, that maybe I go back to them and I'm like, I'm sorry I wasn't there in that moment. I was having my own moment,
Right. Right.
and so you do the repair.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
go
love
back,
that. Yeah.
yeah, and you have the conversation so they know like even though I couldn't be there in the moment, I am still here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a safe place to come.
Yeah. That is so important. Thank you so much for sharing that lesson. I love this one. This is such a good one.
Yes. Yes. Thank
Um,
you for having me.
yeah. Okay. I want to kind of wrap this up with for any new mom or just mom parent listening to this, what's something that, like, your piece of advice that you would give one of your clients? Like, what's a really important thing if they're struggling with being a working parent? What's something they could do today?
Yeah. Um, I would say find small moments throughout the day where you can recharge.
Hmm.
So it's not going to look like an hour at the gym anymore. It might,
Right.
and that's great. But you also have to fit in little moments. And I'm not talking long. I'm just talking if you're on a if you're on a work call, go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Or in between calls, go. get a breath of fresh air, just walk outside.
Yeah.
So whatever those little things are for you, um, having lunch not at your desk and not with your phone,
Right.
right? So, so find those little things
I
and
love that.
put those in place during the day, and hopefully you find yourself with more energy at the end of the day.
Yeah, those mini resets are so helpful. I do that too because I will find myself sitting at my desk, sitting here for hours, and I'll be like, I should get up and do something.
Yeah. Um, but we get caught up in that feeling of like, I'm getting so much done and it feels so good. Um, and at the same time, we also need to just be. We don't
Yeah.
always have to do.
It's
Sometimes
crazy
just
how much
being.
a 10-minute reset, walk outside, breath of fresh air will make such a huge impact to the whole day.
It
It's
does.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our interactions with everybody around us, or at least for me, that's
Yep.
how it works.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Carla. Where can a listener find you online if they are interested in learning more about your services?
Yeah, they can find me on LinkedIn, just under Carla Greenan, or my website is the number three, becoaching.com. And yeah, like, I really appreciate you having me here and
Yeah.
talking. And I know we do similar things, and um, I really admire that like, what's the best way to say it? There's enough space for everybody to support working
Yes.
parents. So
Yep.
not everybody would have had me on the call today because we do the same things. And I appreciate that we're all here in it together to support working parents. So thank
Yeah.
you for taking the time and doing
Oh,
what you do.
my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Like you said, all there's enough room for everybody, and when
Yeah,
we can, we can each only impact a little percentage of the group of the population. So when we can come together to make a bigger impact, it's wonderful.
it
So
is. It is.
well,
Thank you.
that's it. If you're listening to this episode and this episode hit home, please like it, share it with another mom or parent who may be in the trenches and need some help. And we will link to Carla's links and resources in the description. And if you need help with a maternity leave plan, I'll link to my description, my resources in the description. And other than that, we will see everyone in the next episode.
All
Thank
right.
you.